Coming up tonight on 18 Eyewitness News.
A state representative reacts to Missouri Science Startup Fund being ruled unconstitutional. Also, 2 local state legislators are honored for their conservation work. Plus, a Farmington facility shows us that art truly is ageless. All of these stories and how long will the spring-like temperatures stay with us?
News, sports, weather. This is 18 Eyewitness News.
Good day, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fred Dawkins. One of the top stories we're working on for you, Attorney General Chris Koster will appeal a circuit court's ruling striking down the Missouri Science and Innovation Reinvestment Act. A Cole County judge earlier this week tossed out the act referred to as MOSIRA, saying the way lawmakers approved it last fall violates the state's constitution. Now, MOSIRA was passed with a contingency clause which said it would only take effect if legislators also passed a broader tax reform bill, which eventually failed. State Representative Linda Black says the judge's ruling did not surprise her. Black was one of 9 Democrats who voted against MOSIRA during the special session. The Bonne Terre Democrat was concerned that the bill did not include restrictions into certain areas of research.
There was no safety provision that prevented the money from being able to be funneled into embryonic stem cell research, human cloning research, and also possibly abortion-type related services. And so I had reservations there. Of course, as a pro-life Democrat, and I opposed the bill because we tried to get an amendment onto the bill that would give some safety language to make sure that money could not go to those areas that I had just described, and the amendment did not pass.
Black said she would vote for a version of MOSIRA that included restrictions against money being funneled into embryonic stem cell or cloning research or abortion services. Now let's take a look at our weather forecast. Dustin Kopp is here with a look at our first forecast. Dustin?
Fred, it's decent out there right now. Nothing too bad to complain about. 54 right now in St. Louis, 57 in Ironton, Farmington right now at 58, 55 in Fredericktown, 56 in Piedmont, and Poplar Bluff right now at 57 degrees. What's in store for the next several hours? This evening we'll see temperatures in the 50s, 57 at 7 p.m. under a partly cloudy sky. Mostly cloudy by 9 with the temperature around 54 and 51 with partly to mostly cloudy skies by midnight. What's in store for your bus stop in the morning? We're going to continue to see those clouds build in overnight tonight, and temperature will be around 49 degrees with your bus stop in the morning. What's in store for tomorrow and the weekend? I'll give you all those details coming up later in weather.
In other stories this hour, Senator Kevin Engler and House Speaker Stephen Tilley are the Conservation Legislators of the Year. The awards given by the Conservation Federation of Missouri have not been given out in more than 30 years. The Federation will present the awards this weekend at the Conservation Department's annual convention at the Lake of the Ozarks. Federal Executive Director Dave Murphy says outlines how Engler and Tilley were selected for the awards are as follows.
Both of these gentlemen were nominated this year separately and for the similar award, and it was the selection of our awards committee after they reviewed all the nominations for each of our awards that they would award one in the Senate and one in the House this year, and I believe that's the first time we've ever done that.
Senator Engler was cited for spearheading legislation which aided the Department of Conservation in bringing wild elk to southeast Missouri. Speaker Tilley was noted for his work in water fee extensions and conservation easements. When St. Francis County 911 Joint Communications took over operations of St. Genevieve's County 911, it was expected that the call load would increase, and Communications Center Director Alan Wells says those increases were in line with their expectations.
It's pretty much right in line, Terry. We expected about a 25 to 30% increase based on population and their records of call load that they were experiencing previously.
Wells says he was surprised by the increasing number of police calls. However, he attributes that to some local police agencies receiving grants to cover overtime in monitoring traffic.
Of course, when they have those type of programs going, they are required to do more of that type of service, and which is a little bit out of the norm, especially with some of your county sheriff's departments. They work on more criminal offenses, and but when they get a grant to work more traffic, then that certainly changes or increases some of that call load.
Wells says St. Francis County typically averages between 87,000 to 90,000 calls a year, with 70% of those being law enforcement calls. Last year, with the addition of St. Genevieve County, the number of 911 calls jumped to 118,000. When we come back on 18 Eyewitness News, Farmington's Presbyterian Manor shows art truly is ageless. That story is coming up only on 18 Eyewitness News. Farmington's Presbyterian Manor invites the community to visit their juried Art is Ageless exhibit. The 32nd annual art show opened Wednesday and continues through this Friday. Now, the exhibit features art in 9 categories, including painting, drawing, quilting, photography, and Christmas. The only restrictions on the entries are that the artist must be at least 65 years of age and the piece must have been completed in the last 5 years. Now, the exhibit winners will be announced at a reception on Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Winning artwork will go into competition among winners from the other 17 Presbyterian manors for a spot in the 2013 Art is Ageless calendar. 3 people accused of being part of a counterfeiting ring last October are pleading guilty. Darius Robinson, Jessica Gross, and Bynette Trice pleaded guilty Tuesday to varying charges, including manufacturing and using phony bills at retail stores in Cape Girardeau, Dexter, Poplar Bluff, and Sykeston. Robinson used fake $20 bills at clothing stores in Cape Girardeau. Trice and Gross pleaded guilty to publishing and using fake $10 bills at the stores in Poplar Bluff. The charge carries a penalty of up to 20 years in prison and up to $250,000 in fines. Robinson, Gross, and Trice will be sentenced on May 21st. The counterfeiting's ring other 2 suspects included Darius Langford and Terry Hester. They pleaded not guilty to their involvement on Tuesday. Langford will be back in court on March 16th and Hester on March 19th. And still to come on 18 Eyewitness News, Don Arnold explains why doctors are treating women with breast cancer while keeping a close eye on their hearts. That's next in today's Your Health segment. But now Dustin is making another check in the Storm Tracker 18 Weather Center. Has he got good weather for us this weekend? We'll find out coming up next.
And welcome back as we head into your day on Thursday. Clouds are going to be increasing this evening into tomorrow. Temperatures, however, tomorrow will be unseasonably nice, so really can't complain about the temperatures. They'll be in the 60s. And then we're going to see no moisture in sight for the next several days. As we head out to southeast Missouri, temperatures are in the 50s right now. It's pretty nice out there right now. 57 in Marble Hill and Cape Girardeau. 55 right now in Fredericktown. 56 in Piedmont. Ellington right now at 56 as well. And Ironton right now at 57. Factor in the wind. We do have a little bit of wind chill. Not too bad right now. 51 up in St. Louis, 56 right now in Ironton, 54 down in Piedmont, and 55 in Poplar Bluff. Here at the station, we have a temperature of 58 degrees. It feels like 53 out there because of that west wind at 8 miles per hour under a partly cloudy sky. Current dew point at 34 and 37% humidity. What's in store for your day on Thursday? Well, here's what's going to happen. We're going to see clouds in our area through your day on Thursday. However, temperatures are going to be on the nice side until this cold front starts pushing through, and that's what's going to bring us some cooler air for your day on Friday. However, tomorrow the temperatures will start out in the 60s and start dropping into the 50s by tomorrow afternoon. So tonight's lows are looking like this. Not too bad out there. 44 in St. Louis, 46 in Ironton, 45 down in Piedmont, 44 for your overnight low in Fredericktown. Here at the station and in the southeast Missouri area. We should see a low around 45 degrees with a partly cloudy sky, increasing clouds overnight, southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow it's looking nice, high of 65 degrees. Flip those around and we'll see a mostly cloudy sky. However, temperatures will be dropping throughout tomorrow afternoon. Southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Next several days look like this. On Friday, we'll see a partly sunny sky, high of 49 degrees, low of 30, 46, and mostly sunny on Saturday. Warming even nicer into the upper 50s on Sunday with a partly sunny sky. Partly sunny skies continue on Monday, a little cooler with a high of 52, and the much colder air moves through for your day on Tuesday with a mostly cloudy sky, high of 43, 53, and sunny on Wednesday. Another check of your weekend forecast. It's not looking too bad. 46 for your overall high in Saturday with a mostly sunny sky, low of 29, 56 on Sunday with partly sunny skies. Let's check your Storm Tracker weather forecast. Fred, it's looking pretty nice. Back to you.
Looks like a pretty good forecast, Dustin. Now Don Arnold is here with tonight's Your Health on 18 Eyewitness News. Don?
Nearly 300,000 women will remember 2011 as the year they were diagnosed with breast cancer. The good news is that more of those women are surviving than ever before. And now, with that in mind, researchers are now beginning to take a closer look at one of the most popular and powerful drugs used to treat breast cancer. As Clark Powell reports, doctors now know how well the drug works to kill cancer. Now they want to know how it might affect a woman's heart for years to come.
Named partially for its ruby red color, the drug doxorubicin has become a mainstay in the treatment of breast cancer for decades. Linda Nazareth has been treated with it, and so was her grandmother nearly 50 years ago. Even then, there were questions about the impact it may have on a woman's heart.
She would start getting sick as soon as they started the medicine, and it did damage her heart.
But how much damage is done, and just who is at risk, are questions doctors still can't answer with much certainty.
Taking a breath.
So researchers at Ohio State's James Cancer Hospital are using high-definition technology to try and answer those decades-old questions. Normally, when breast cancer patients are treated with this drug, doctors keep tabs on their hearts by using echocardiograms, but those may have their drawbacks.
By the time changes manifest on the echocardiogram indicating decreased heart function, it's already too late. The damage is done.
So Dr. Charles Shapiro and his team are taking a different approach. During chemotherapy sessions, they're not only collecting blood from patients, but they're also putting them through state-of-the-art cardiac MRIs, using crystal clear images to search for even the smallest signs of damage.
You can see swelling or edema occurring at very early stages. You can also see valvular changes that you may not otherwise see as well.
Doctors insist doxorubicin is generally safe, and only a small percentage of women may be at risk for heart damage. But knowing exactly who they are and when the damage may occur could help them treat even more women more effectively. At Ohio State's James Cancer Hospital, this is Clark Powell reporting.
Researchers at Ohio State University say they will use the blood samples to look for an increase in a certain type of cell that is made in greater numbers whenever the heart is injured. The outcome of their study could help doctors formulate treatment plans to take into consideration not only for a woman's cancer, but for years of survival she may enjoy once it's cured.
Coming up in today's Your Life segment, couples may talk constantly while dating, but it's the things they don't talk about that may be the most important. Learn more on today's Focus on the Family with Dr. Bill Meyer.
And coming up in sports, we'll have a look at district play in high school basketball from last night. Contract extension talks between the Cardinals and Yadier Molina are on hold. And for the second time this season, Kansas State upsets Mizzou. These stories and more coming up in sports on 18 Eyewitness News.
This is 18 Eyewitness News. Sports.
District play continued last night in high school basketball and boys action from Class 4 District Number 2. The semifinals were played last night as DeSoto defeated Central in the first semifinal 67-32, and Farmington won big over North County in the second semifinal 88-49. So DeSoto and Farmington will meet for the district championship tomorrow night at 7 o'clock from Potosi High School. In Class 4 District Number 1 on the girls' side last night, St. Genevieve defeated Perryville 48-31, and Fredericktown nearly upset Sykeston
but fell 1 point short, 47-46. On the schedule for tonight, it's the semifinals in Class 4 District Number 1 in boys action as Cape Notre Dame battles Fredericktown in the first semifinal and Sykeston takes on Perryville in the second semifinal. In Class 4 District Number 2 tonight, the girls will play their semifinals as North County takes on DeSoto in the first semifinal and Central battles Farmington in the second semifinal tonight from Potosi. In regular season scores last night, Clearwater defeated Naylor 73-59. Donovan fell to Charleston 83-73. Malden 67, Twin Rivers 42, and Oran no problem with Woodland 79-56. Contract extension talks between the Cardinals and Gold Glove catcher Yadier Molina are on hold. The agent for Molina provided a timetable for negotiations by indicating his client would not engage in talks during the season. Melvin Roman clarified Molina's stance shortly after speaking with General Manager John Mozeliak. Roman plans to remain in town several days, but said he had no idea whether the parties would restart talks about his client. Roman underscored Molina's willingness to extend his career with the organization that drafted him in 2000, but also acknowledged his client's recent insistence on no so-called hometown discount. The Blues played a home-away back-to-back series over the weekend and do so again this week, starting tonight with the Bruins and continuing Thursday at Nashville. The team hopes to recover from a disappointing 3-1 loss Sunday at Chicago by continuing its success against Eastern Conference teams. The Blues have one of the best home records in the league and score almost a goal per game more at Scottrade than on the road. The Bruins appear to be a picture of balance, leading the league in plus-minus at +33, but they have had trouble scoring of late, a shutout victim in 4 of their past 9 starts. And before last night's game against Mizzou, Kansas State was considered a team teetering on the NCAA tournament bubble, but not anymore. Rodney Magruder scored 24 points as Kansas State upset number 3 Mizzou 78-68 Tuesday night. The Wildcats' second win this season over the Tigers and their first at Mizzou Arena since 2007. Considering the Tigers had been undefeated at home until last night, Mizzou may have been guilty of looking ahead to Saturday's matchup in Lawrence against the Kansas Jayhawks. And that's a look at sports. We'll be back with tonight's Your Life segment right after this on 18 Eyewitness News.
I'm Stacy Johnson. Just because you have to file your taxes doesn't mean you have to pay a pro, buy software, or even do it yourself. Don't file those taxes until you see what's just ahead on Money Talks News.
Can a blissful dating relationship lead to divorce? As Dr. Bill Meyer explains in today's Focus on the Family, couples who are madly in love need to come down to earth before the wedding.
Many couples walk down that aisle with a whole set of assumptions about their new spouse, and those assumptions may be dead wrong. Before a wedding is even planned, several topics should definitely be explored.
One's assumptions or expectations about finances, about career, about balancing career and home life, about children.
Of course, in the euphoria of a dating relationship, couples don't always want to walk down roads that could lead to conflict.
We get along so well, and it's almost, naturally we could almost just not really discuss anything that might come up, but it's good to walk through those things so that, there's no strife in 6 months into our marriage.
Even as similar as we feel like we are, it's still important to talk it through and to kind of wrestle things out.
And wrestling things out means both sides show their true colors while dating, not just their best behavior.
That's an important priority in your relationship, is communicating well, being honest, being open, being very transparent.
Seeing each other clearly also means not rushing into engagement.
You have to be a part of one another's life long enough to see the painful seasons and the great seasons.
And couples shouldn't spend all their time alone either.
See what happens when you're with a larger group of friends. See what happens when you spend time with the families.
And whatever you do, make sure to invest some time in premarital or even pre-engagement counseling.
Where someone persistently asks us the challenging questions, gets us independently to speak those underlying assumptions into real words and out in the open so that the other person has a way to assess, is this what I want?
For Focus on the Family, I'm Dr. Bill Meyer.
For more valuable information on life's issues, relationships, and family, you can always visit FocusOnTheFamilyTV.com. Every year, millions of Americans line up to pay professionals to do their taxes. But needing professionals' help don't always mean you need to pay for it. Money reporter Stacy Johnson explains who qualifies for free professional help, free electronic filing, and free advice.
Taxes can be complicated, and the slightest oversight can mean leaving major money on the table. Good reasons to pay big bucks to a pro. Or is it? There are so many ways to file your taxes free, it's amazing anyone pays. For example, if you made less than 50 grand last year, you can probably get free help from VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. They have thousands of offices nationwide. AARP has helped more than 50 million people file their taxes free. They have thousands of locations, and they're looking to serve those over 60 with low to mid income. And even if you're too young or make too much to get personal free help, there's still plenty of ways for you to get your taxes done free. There are websites that supply free tax preparation and even free electronic filing. They do charge for state returns. I found prices on that from $9.95 to $30, so you want to compare before you start. Then there's IRS Free File, free online software and e-filing if your income's less than 57 grand. And if you're willing to file with online forms, you can do that and file electronically free no matter what your income. And then, of course, there's free help for everyone, either in person at an IRS office or on one of their toll-free numbers. Bottom line, if all you need to do is file a federal return, there's really no reason to pay much, if anything. And if all that information came a little too fast for you, no worries. I'll hook you up right here at MoneyTalksNews.com. I'm Stacy Johnson.
Want to see those tips again and that video that Stacy has mentioned? You can head over to MoneyTalksNews.com. Dustin, people never seem to quit amazing me what they'll do, what they don't do. We had that story on counterfeiting here. True story. The Dawkins Radio and TV group has stations outside of Tallahassee. A few weeks ago, I was down there, pulled up to the bank to do some business, and right ahead of me was a truck, and it had a lady in the truck, and the woman in the bank gave back a $20 bill, and she said, "I can't take this, it's counterfeit." So she said, "Do you want your money back?" And the woman said, "Well, of course I want my $20 bill back." I don't know what she was going to do with it, but anyway, she said she wanted it back. So I pull up and start doing my business, and I said, "Counterfeit bill, hon?" She said, "Yeah, Fred." She said, "We're getting a lot of those down here." But she said, "That's not the most amazing thing." She said, "Last week, a merchant here in this town took a counterfeit $150 bill." Are you kidding me? Come on now. A $150 bill? We've never made those. Right. So that's kind of where two fools, met. The one who made it got away with it, and the merchant took it without even questioning it. And you had a story similar.
During break, Fred and I were talking that there was a story not too long ago about another merchant taking I think it was a $25 bill. Again, we didn't make $25 bills. We have never made $25 bills. And it amazes me on how dumb people can really be.
They are really dumb about some of the simplest things in life.
Right.
No common sense whatsoever.
Because common sense is not so common anymore.
This is true. A good statement there. That does it for our evening newscast. But before we leave, Dustin, what's the weather going to be like this weekend?
The weather is actually not looking too bad. It's going to be a little chillier than what it has been the last couple of days. However, it's not going to be too bad for this time of year. Tomorrow, on the other hand, we're going to see temperatures in the 60s, but they're going to be dropping throughout the day by 3 p.m. around 55 degrees or so. So we're going to start in the 60s and then drop down a little bit.
Is it going to keep dropping or will it rebound?
Friday is going to be cooler than what it is tomorrow. Saturday is going to continue to be cooler, but Sunday we're starting to rebound back up.
All right, very good. That does it for our newscast this evening. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in the morning on our morning edition of 18 Eyewitness News. Have a good evening, everybody, and God bless you. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Newswatch is next.